These are kids with no emotions. They laugh at anything. They laugh at other people's sadness.
Where does this stop?
The Prime Minister has jetted into Alice Springs after days of mounting pressure over a crime crisis in the Northern Territory town.
The Northern Territory Alice Springs bakery broken into for now a 44th time.
This place is totally out of control. The violence on the streets is out of control. We've got gangs of youths running, they are actually running the CBD at the moment. And if they're not running the CBD, they're out in the suburbs hitting people's homes.
They have no respect. They have no respect for the police or anything for anybody else. This town will be overrun by kids if we're not careful.
Commercial break-ins up by more than 55% and 59% for damaged property.
Something has to give, and something has to give immediately.
Nah, listen, that was a fluke before. On where?
What I say, yeah.
3, 2, 1, snap. What up, fam? Jay Miller here, currently in Alice Springs, connecting with the youth. What's your name, bro? Nice to meet you. What's your name? Oh yeah, I know you, bro. Basically, right now we're at a youth festival. I'm gonna perform at 5 p.m. and currently, right now, we're just shooting some hoots with the young'uns. Just bonding and building that connection.
Flew into Alice Springs and there was a free youth concert in the community, and we had artists such as Carnage and Darkness who are from Alice Springs. We also had the Mulgabor hard rock band. And then we also had Jay Miller who was here.
When I say Alice, y'all say Springs. Alice, Alice. When I say Alice, y'all say Springs. Alice,
Jay Miller, he's always good. He's the way he's received by the young people is inspiring, you know, and hopefully some of these young people can look up to him and see in him what they could be, you know.
For them to come out of their comfort zone was probably one of the highlights of the night.
You can just see how he just, you know, probably inspired, you know, and these young people, you know, if you just get that one or two, you know, the event's worth it, you know.
break it down like that. Break it down like that.
I'm really proud of you, Mom, for doing that, for jumping out of your comfort zone and doing it here in your hometown. Now your mum can go travel elsewhere and do it now. So nah, true God, you should be really proud of you. It's not about me, it's about you, Mom. And I love you, Mom, for coming out here tonight. Thank you so much. I go by the name of Jay Miller. Appreciate it. Interacting and connecting and not being shame. And I think that's what it's all about.
And see how they all got up and danced and, you know? Like, you don't see that very much, you know?
It's showing them and it's inspiring them, which is only going to add to something that they can see themselves doing, which leads to something that they'll be passionate in, which leads to them living a life with purpose. So my name is Jade Vagona and I'm the 2023 NT Young Australian of the Year. Currently work as a mental health educator in schools with young First Nation students.
I'm Amani Francois and I'm a Central Eastern Islander young woman. I live in Alice Springs. I'm in grade 12. Most importantly, I feel like my passion is around Aboriginal people.
I grew up in Darwin. My family are from the Tiwi Islands, and so growing up in the Territory, a very diverse place, and seeing a lot of disadvantages among the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander communities.
I've been social working at a organisation called Bushmob, which is a youth rehab centre, for about 4 months now, 4 or 5 months. It's a really hard job.
So it is pretty prevalent that youth crime is getting worse, and it's a big thing, not only here in Alice Springs, but in the Northern Territory.
Yeah, I think currently some of these kids are lost at the moment.
Yeah. When you're a young person, you think whatever's going on in your life is just a normal part of life.
I have really deep and meaningful conversations with my clients, my YPs, we call them YPs, stands for young people. They tell me like there's a rush from being out on the street, like there's a rush from being, you know, chased by the police. It's like it releases a dopamine for them in a way.
As bad as it sounds, it's an adrenaline rush. It could be seen as being fun. When there's not much happening here in a town.
For some of them, like that's just being able to feel something.
I'm a lot older now and I know what's right. But bro, I'm not gonna lie, like I was chased by police, bro. That was fun as a kid. Like I don't want to say that though.
But at the same time, they say like they don't really feel safe at home, and they say that, you know, their home isn't a place where they want to be.
The other night we just drove around the community and just really wanted to talk to some of the young people who are out on the street, and just to really see what's going on, like why are they out, and just to hear from them and what is their side of the story.
Their parents they don't teach them their ways to stay strong.
Yeah.
Stay acting very stupid probably.
They teach them wrong ways, eh?
Yeah.
Not teaching them. And what would it?
Parents they just going to pub, to drink around.
Yeah.
Don't worry about kids.
Yeah.
Less worrying about drugs.
Yeah.
Like that.
And how do you feel like being out here?
It's sucks.
You good?
You got a nice tattoo, bro.
Cheers, brother. That's all right, eh? Where you mob from again?
I'm from
Bush. Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you mob think it's fair, like what they're saying about the young people here in Alice Springs? Like, do you think it's fair they say like, oh, all the young mob in Alice, they're all bad, they all, you know, they want to get locked up? What do you mob think about that when you hear that stuff?
Sucks.
Sucks, eh? What is it?
Because it's bad for your family too, and your nana and your grandfather.
Yeah.
You give yourself a trouble for them.
Yeah, it gives you like a bad name, eh? Yeah. Trying
because
to get.
they being confused, you know, they don't know what they're doing and stuff. Yeah.
Who?
The little kids.
The young mob.
Yeah, young mob, teenagers.
Mm.
Some of my families haven't come here live here. I had my young cousins, my nephews, they've turned into criminals.
Yeah.
They act like gangsta, that would make me real shame.
It makes you shame, eh?
Yeah, I was thinking like that.
Mm.
Why, how they act like gangsta, that would make me shame.
Mm. If you're not here, you don't really know, you know? You're not seeing the full picture. You're just seeing the tip of the iceberg, not like the full, you know? You're just seeing what's on the surface. Might be stolen cars tonight, eh?
Yeah, because they were stealing cars from inside there.
True, eh?
That's why they blocked the city.
I had a conversation with a young girl who was out on the streets, and I got to hear directly from her. Let's say you might have anywhere to go tonight?
No, we'll be just walking.
Just be walking around, hey? Yeah. What for? What for you might want to walk around?
For fun.
For fun, hey?
Yeah, but not breaking.
But not what?
We don't break it.
You don't break in or anything, you just...
Only those blokes breaking.
And is there any reason why you feel it's probably easier to be out here, maybe?
Because families keep drinking all the time.
Because families keep drinking all the time.
Yeah, but if we stay with our family when they're drunk, they just get angry and they start messing with them and jump for like young people.
Really?
Yeah.
So if you stay with family and they get drunk, they get angry and start
jumping for young people.
And what's that mean? Like they get wild for them young mob?
Yeah, like we keep walking on time because of them, because they keep drinking.
She felt more safe to be on the streets than at home. Like, can you just imagine that? Like, of course you wouldn't want to be at home all the time. Of course you'd feel safer on the streets with young people who come from the same circumstances. So thank you for sharing that. And we got a good idea on what that problem is and why we're seeing a lot of young mob out now, and you know, nothing wrong with that. It makes a lot of sense, if anything.
Everything starts at home, you know, learning, education. Our first education is at home. And I think when, you know, your environment that you're coming from isn't safe and isn't like how you want it to feel comfortable, I think you know, you are going to be on the street and you are going to be in places that make you feel comfortable.
So is there anywhere else your mob could go or nah? Could you just imagine being born into a place where you're meant to feel safe, your home, you know, that's where you're meant to be nurtured and where you can be yourself, but you can't even feel that at your own house, you know? Like, just imagine that. Take care,
Take care too, bro.
It's heartbreaking to hear this story over and over and the way it's being portrayed in the media. I think it's very unfair on the young people, especially here in Alice Springs.
So this is Alice Springs, Mbantua, where I grew up.
What was growing up in Alice Springs like?
When I was growing up, you know, this was a place of love and community, and it was amazing, and I feel like Alice can still have that potential and still be the place that it used to be.
Why aren't we seeing more of the good? We're only seeing a small percentage of the bad, right?
Yeah.
So what about the good stuff here for the young people?
A lot of the time, us mob and all mob get painted with the same brush. So, like, if they're seen doing that, then, you know, all of them are doing that. And it's kind of like misrepresentation, but also lack of understanding of where they're coming from and who they actually are. Look, growing up, it's always been a problem, you know, like, I clearly look Aboriginal, like my skin is dark, I'm caramel, you know, I have that Aboriginal nose. So I feel like when we do walk out in town, there are a lot of eyes and a lot of people are watching you all the time. They always expect antisocial behaviour from us.
It's only a small minority that are causing problems. I think us as adults need to change the way we think about these kids because it's not every single one of them.
It's definitely taken a toll on my mental health as well. I went through a part when I was younger, like, oh, I wish I wasn't black, you know, like I wish I wasn't as dark as I am because people are looking at me differently. People aren't pairing up in class with me or people aren't asking me these kind of things. And it's just like, at the same time, I was glad I had a really good support group and I had my grandmothers and my mothers still like, no, like you're black and you're beautiful and we're resilient people and you should be proud of your bloodline. And it's a lot deeper than just nowadays, like it does root all the way back to colonisation and, you know, generational trauma from stolen gen, like they don't realise it's still going and passing down through generations.
And that's what we're seeing, we're just still seeing the ongoing impacts of intergenerational trauma. You can't blame us for being born into these circumstances and not having the right support around us to be able to navigate our way through a Western society, right?
Yeah, like that's it.
That's not our way.
Because we can't change anything that's happened, you know, all we can impact is the future.
That's
you know?
right, and that's how we move forward, eh? We just got to acknowledge it, sit down, and just keep moving forward, eh?
100%.
The youth, that is our future, right?
Yeah.
They are our future leaders, so we need to be investing in them now.
Yeah.
You know. So we went out to Santa Teresa to visit some of the young mob at the school. So we're gonna see who's the fastest, right? Go, go, go! It was beautiful to see actually. Those kids are just amazing, you know, like very well behaved. Like I'll just walk in there and they'll say, hello, how are you? And God bless you. And like that just melted my heart to hear from some of those young people.
Going out to Santa Teresa and playing ukulele, it was amazing to see them all just like flourish and like so excited and so willingly to like learn an instrument, because learning instruments are pretty hard.
It was just very important to see the grassroots level where their journeys are starting, and it's right there in the school. And that's where they need to be supported at all those development stages. What was the best part of today?
Singing.
Singing?
And ukulele.
And ukulele.
At such a young level, how they can, you know, sing a song in not only English but in Aranda, and I think that was very inclusive for our culture, and it was amazing to see.
It's good to see that young people are being supported to start a passion at such a young age.
It really did show that there are young people out there, especially like at this height, wanting to find their purpose.
I think that's what's most important. That's what's going to sort of help re-engage young people. Some people may not find their purpose until later in life, but by leading by example and being a good role model for others, following your passion and your values, and finding opportunities to give back to your community, these are the things that have helped me be able to find my purpose. And I hope that you guys will find yours too. Thank you very much. It's so important to find something you're passionate in because it gives your life more meaning.
Just get out and try something. Sport, whatever it is, music, art. If you can find that little avenue or that little connection with something.
And then what that does is give you a sense of purpose.
I was very fortunate enough to have a strong group around me to support me with my passion in my career and help and guide me through the right path. See, these kids here, not only in Alice Springs, but other remote areas in Australia, they don't have any role models or any strong support behind them to push them for their passion.
I don't think young people who have been walking in the streets at night, I don't think they have the opportunity to be exposed to something that they might be passionate in or interested in.
We need a mentor, you know, because we are young, but at the same time, we do know our needs and we know what we need to be able to cope with life.
We're not supporting the environment and the circumstances that they're coming from. We're not working directly with the families. And instead of locking people up, let's actually just try and mentor them and teach them the right skills that they need to navigate through life.
The kids here need more guidance. They need more of a path. They need to be shown a lot more. They're only restricted to certain things here, and it gets boring for these kids.
At the same time, I feel like we're all going through the same thing. I'm just a bit more privileged and I have like a better support group around me that understand me a lot more than they do.
We need more support from the locals. We need more support from the media. We all need to be the change. We can't just direct it to one group or one person. We're all one mob. We all need to connect, come together, sort this problem out, address the issue, and be the change.
Attending this youth conference, you know, we're seeing a lot of our vibrant young people who are doing amazing things in the community.
And for the whole event to be organised by youth was pretty special because it just shows how bright the youth here in Alice are.
To be able to showcase that more, I think is very important for a community here.
As youth, I don't think they, you know, wanted us to rise, but I think we're taking the lead and I think the future is bright and there is a change that's going to come because, you know, we can't change the past, we can only impact the future, and it's only up from here, I reckon.
So I think the perception on young people in Alice Springs are that they're just out of control, and but from what I've seen is that these young people are actually very vibrant and young and inspiring as well, and very talented young people. So if we can see more of that and just see past all of those things that are being portrayed in the media and actually just have a conversation with one of them, you will learn a lot about these young people.
I just want to know what is peace. Can someone educate us all? Because all that it seems is that no one even knows what it means. I mean, I could be wrong, but society is telling me that freedom isn't actually free. I hate to say, but it's hard being black in these streets, and when we tell them, they don't want to believe. Cause we're locked up in a system that we can't even see. Well, I guess my last song went right over your heads, cause I was sending out a message, but the message wasn't read. Reconciliation is what we all gotta spread. So what more needs to be said for this to get in your head? It's like, if you're white, you're right. But if you're black in this country, it's an everyday fight. Out of the pain going on in the streets, we tryna make a change, but they won't let us speak. There's innocent black people who were murdered by police and no one's giving a... Well, that's the way it all seems, that there's a whole lot of things that we never discussed. The media never reveals what really happens to us. But when a wombat was killed, man, they made it a fuss. But let a cop shoot a brother, they never did lock him up. How would you feel if you had a stereotype? How would you feel if the police pulled you up at night? How would you feel being judged in your everyday life? How would you feel? Nah.